Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the Space Cowboy Show, and today we have another depth chart dive. Today we're talking about running backs, okay? And there are 6 running backs currently on the Cowboys roster, a pretty crowded room. We're going to talk about where the Cowboys were at, going into last season and where we stand right now. So, for those that are unaware, the Cowboys going into last season, they had, and even in during the season, they had 3 running backs, including a fullback. I do put fullback at counted as a running back. Okay, they had Zeke, obviously. They had Rod Smith, number 45, and they had Jameez Olawale added by trade, from the Raiders to here. Now, obviously, the biggest thing that was talked about was keeping Zeke fresh, okay? That was a huge discussion point at the end of last season. Everyone was talking, we need to get a running back for Zeke. We need to be more dynamic, blah, 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 blah. And the Cowboys went out uh, after the draft, or not even after the draft, excuse me, during the draft, okay? And they acquired 2 running backs, and then they acquired another running back as an undrafted free agent. Okay. They also had Darius Jackson come back aboard, and they still have Jameez Olawale at the fullback position. Now, we're going to go through each of these guys, including Zeke, and we're going to see where we stand and where we think these guys are going to be come roster time and what I think the Cowboys should do. First off, we have Ezekiel Elliott, number 21. Big guy from Ohio State, okay? Now, obviously, Ezekiel Elliott, we know him to be the franchise running back, the bell cow running back, whatever you want to refer to him as. He is the beast, okay? And the fact of the matter is, we know what Zeke can do. I think that's an obvious thing to point out. The one thing I will say is that the Cowboys need to be more dynamic with and without him. And what do I mean by that? I think that they did a great job at utilizing him in the passing game this year. I think that seeing him in that role, I think that it will allow him to be more versatile. Not only that, adding the people behind him will increase his longevity as, even though I do think that as a generational back, in my opinion, he has that ability to stay upright. I do think that we need to make sure that we're not running him into the ground or being ineffective with him. Okay. With Zeke, we all know what he can do. Obviously, a running back like him can still have great games even when the offensive line isn't doing as well. But we all know that with the Cowboys offensive line still trying to go through, and we'll get to them when we get to that segment. But knowing where we are right now with this running back depth chart class we have of 2019, Ezekiel Elliott stands at the top, without a doubt. Now, right behind him, and everyone else is in no particular order, Tony Pollard, 4th round draft pick out of Memphis, okay? And he is wearing number 36. For those that don't know about Tony Pollard, he was known for being an electric playmaker at Memphis, okay? He was able to rush the ball, receive, catch the ball out of the backfield and in the passing game. And most notably, being a returner. And I'm not sure if anyone saw this on Twitter and or this article, but Gil Brandt, famous Cowboys executive that built America's team in the in that time period with Tom Landry and such, he gave his seal of approval, saying that Tony Pollard will be one of the top 5 surprise running backs, rookie running backs, I should say, of 2019. And, that's high praise, and, we'll see what happens. But I will tell you this. The Cowboys made a fantastic selection with Pollard at 4. Because not only are you getting a great playmaker at number 4 with great value, you're getting someone that's very versatile. You don't have to worry, okay, about Ezekiel Elliott taking away an element. And that's what I think the Cowboys were missing. I felt that when Rod Smith went in, defenses can say, we don't got to worry about him. I want us to have a running back committee, not a committee, but a running back stable, let's put it, in which when we take Zeke out, I can put Tony in, and I don't have to worry about having to change up the scheme and changing up my game plan. I literally can just put him in, and he can do what Zeke does. He doesn't have to do like 90-yard touchdowns every time. However, needs to be effective when he can, and I think he will be. I think that if he's given his chance, and I think he will be, the Cowboys definitely would make a great selection. This screams, Kellen Moore selection all across the board, especially when they took him. I even said that during the draft. I felt that Kellen Moore had a say in this, possibly. I'm not going to say for certain, but definitely a great selection, and I think he will be Zeke's backup, going into the 2019 season. Then, our next draft pick is Mike Weber, number 40, out of The Ohio State University. He was a 7th-round draft pick. Okay. And for those that don't know a lot about Mike Weber was seen or not even seen, he was Zeke's heir to, his throne in Ohio State as the running back, and he did very well. He had 2 1,000-yard seasons, okay? And the Cowboys did have a 3rd-round grade on him, which is interesting considering the value we got with him. Now, obviously, you can have a grade on all these players. It's just a matter of how they translate to the football field. And hey, we've known the Cowboys for drafting well, and I hope that Mike Weber gets his shot, because I feel that he will be a great back to have in rotation with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. If he gets there, this is going to be a tough year for people in the running. Besides Zeke and Pollard, the third guy is going to be tough to get there, because we don't know how the Cowboys are about Jameis, at the fullback, because he does count as a running back. And I don't know if the Cowboys will hold on, if in counting the fullback, 3 additional running backs, okay? So a total of 4 running backs. So Mike Weber, I think that he has a shot, if the Cowboys are planning on keeping 3 running backs, including Jameis. I think Mike Weber can make the cut. Then we have Darius Jackson. For those, and I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with Darius Jackson. This time he's wearing number 26. He came in a couple years ago with the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys had let go of him. He went to Cleveland, and then he came back to Dallas, and then he left, and then he left, and then he went to the Packers, and now he's back. Okay, and he's from Eastern Michigan. Like I've seen from most fans, he's very loved amongst the Cowboys community. It's just a matter of he's never really gotten his chance. I even said last year that I felt like he had a shot, I felt that the Cowboys could have used him, considering the fact of what they were doing with Rod Smith, but I feel like maybe it's just the ignorance of Scott Linehan and his stubbornness for not using him, or just maybe he just didn't have any plays where he could fit in. We don't know. But we'll see what he can do. I don't think he's going to make this roster at all, but we'll see what Kellen Moore, writes up, he draws up. Maybe he has a situation where he wants to have a guy like Darius, but we don't know. Darius, known for being a quicker, more versatile back, has that Lance Dunbar type of build to, not a build, but that Lance Dunbar type of sense to him where he's quick and agile, not necessarily being a power back. Next, we're going to skip Jameis. I have it in my notes. We're going to go to Jordan Chun. For those that don't know about Jordan Chun, and a lot of people don't know about him, Jordan Chun, number 46, is out of Troy. His number 46 must be in tribute to the 46 touchdowns he scored at Troy. He is their all-time scoring, running back scoring leader, if that makes any sense, holding all those touchdowns. He was given the nickname Mega Chun from fans of Troy, or, people at Troy. And from what I've gotten from him, he's an older back. He will be 24 at the start of the season. He reminds me a lot of like a power back type of guy, he has that power, like pure power back. He will just burrow his way into the end zone. That's the type of build he has, and I feel that he's not going to really I think he'll get a lot of chances at the end of the preseason, and I think he has a shot at making the practice squad, especially if he can do what he did in college. But the thing is I don't know if the Cowboys will like that he's the one trick pony of he's more of a power back and he can't really do his thing. And I'm not saying he's garbage. Please don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that he's garbage. All I'm saying is that I don't know if he's going to bring a lot to this team considering what they're doing with the other running backs on the roster and what they can do. Okay. Next, and finally, Jameez Olawale, the fullback, number 49. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people are mixed about having a fullback to start off. Okay, the Cowboys did re-sign him for 3 years, and I did talk about Jameez on Vach Lombardi's channel when we were discussing the Cowboys roster, and I did mention the fact that he on his 3-year deal, it's really a 1-year deal with 2 optional years. And I think that the Cowboys, hey, they can cut him. Yeah, they'll have like about $2 million in dead cap, but I feel that they just wanted to make sure they had something for, cautionary purposes in case, hey, maybe we just don't have someone that can fill that role right now, and we'll see what happens. But if I'm the Cowboys, I don't really think you need a fullback anymore. I think you can roll with 3 running backs, excluding a fullback. I think those can be Zeke, Tony Pollard, and Mike Weber. I believe that those 3 guys could make this roster, and you can toss Jameez off a bridge, like Vach Lombardi said during our last stream together. And when I look at this running back stable, very, very talented, okay? I think that you have a lot of talent here, especially with Zeke, and then you have Tony, and then you have Mike and Jordan Chun. I'm not, no disrespect to Darius and Jameez, it's just those 4 guys have talent, especially the other 3 excluding Zeke because they're all rookies. And I think that we're going to see a huge battle for who's going to be Zeke's backup. I think that Tony Pollard is a shoo-in to be the second running back on the depth chart. And I think it's going to be between Jameez Olawale and Mike Weber. I don't know I think the Cowboys will keep 3 running backs. If they keep 4, you're going to have to go, short somewhere. And if I were the Cowboys, Zeke, Tony, and Mike are my running backs. And I think that you run with that because I think that Mike can be played as a fullback. Or you can use Dalton Schultz or the other tight ends. We've seen Dalton Schultz line up as a fullback if you need to have an additional blocker like that. So we don't need a fullback. That's completely unnecessary. But hey, that's besides the point. What do you guys feel? Do you guys feel that the Cowboys... do you think that they have enough running backs? Do you think that you're comfortable with this running back class? What do you guys have to say about it? Leave that in the comments section below. Tell me what would you do with the running backs we got? Who would you keep? Who would you let go? And why? I'll definitely be looking down there. If you haven't, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will be seeing you guys later. Peace out, guys. Bye-bye.